The average American spends $219 a month on subscriptions and thinks they spend $86. That gap isn't a rounding error. That's $133 a month disappearing into accounts you forgot you opened, apps you stopped using 6 months ago, and free trials that quietly converted into recurring charges while you were busy living your life. Multiply that out, that's over $1,500 a year. And if you put that money to work instead, invested at a 7% annual return, over 10 years you're looking at more than $34,000 built from nothing. From money you're currently setting on fire every single month without even noticing. That's what this is about. Not frugality, not cutting lattes, not some punishing budget that makes your life miserable. What we're talking about is a single weekend, maybe 10 hours of actual work, that functions as a permanent raise. No boss to ask, no performance review, no waiting. You do the audit, you make the cuts, you redirect the cash, and from that point forward, every month looks different. Here's the thing most people don't realize. The subscription economy was specifically engineered to take your money without you noticing, and it has worked spectacularly. In the past decade, subscription-based businesses have grown over 435%. That market is now worth more than $500 billion globally, and it's projected to nearly triple by 2033. Every single dollar of that growth came from somewhere. A significant portion of it came directly from your bank account, so let's get it back. The first thing you need to understand is just how deep the problem actually runs. Most people, when asked how many subscriptions they have, will name 5, maybe 6 services. Netflix, Spotify, maybe a gym membership, Amazon Prime, iCloud storage, and they'll estimate they spend somewhere around $70 or $80 a month. Then they do the audit, and the number is closer to $200. A 2024 study by C+R Research found that the average American spends $219 per month on subscriptions, while estimating they spend only $86. That's a 2.5 times perception gap. 66% of consumers underestimated their monthly subscription costs by more than $200. 13% were off by more than $400 a month. How does this happen? The subscription model was designed for exactly this outcome. Charges are small, they hit on different days of the month. They're spread across multiple cards, multiple email addresses, multiple payment methods. The FTC reviewed hundreds of apps and websites in 2024 and found that nearly 76% of them used at least one dark pattern. Design tricks specifically intended to make cancellation harder, free trial terms harder to find, and billing notifications easier to miss. 42% of consumers have been charged for a free trial they forgot to cancel. Almost half of free trial users intend to cancel and simply don't. The service knows this. That's the plan. That's always been the plan. And the charges keep stacking. The average American household now subscribes to roughly 4 streaming services alone. Add in music, cloud storage, software, fitness apps, meal kit deliveries, news subscriptions, and the apps you downloaded during a binge of self-improvement that lasted approximately 2 weeks. And you've got a portfolio of recurring charges that would take a forensic accountant to fully map out, which is exactly what you're going to do this weekend. The audit has 3 stages, and you need to run all 3 because subscriptions hide in multiple places. Start with your bank statements. Pull the last 3 months, not 1-3, because some subscriptions are billed quarterly or annually, and you'll miss them completely if you only look at 1 month. Go line by line. Flag every recurring charge. Write it down or drop it into a spreadsheet. Service name, amount, billing frequency, and whether you actively use it. Actively. Not I could use it. Not I might use it someday. Do you open it? Do you log in? Did you use it in the last 30 days? Stage 2. Search your email. Open your inbox and search the word subscription. Then search receipt. Then search billing. Then search your membership. Companies have to send you billing confirmations, which means your email is a paper trail of everything you're currently paying for, including services you haven't thought about in months. You will find things in that inbox that genuinely surprise you. Almost everyone does. Stage 3, your credit cards. Every card, not just your primary, the card you use for online purchases, the card from a hotel points program, the card you almost never use that sits in a drawer. Subscriptions love those cards because you never check the statement closely enough. Log into each account, pull the last 90 days, and flag everything recurring. By the end of this process, you will have a complete list. For most people, it runs longer than expected. A lot longer. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because not all subscriptions are equal, and a blanket purge isn't the move. What you're doing is a triage. Every item on your list gets sorted into one of three categories: keep, cut, or negotiate. Keep is exactly what it sounds like. Subscriptions that provide genuine, regular value. Things you use multiple times a week. Services that save you meaningful time or money. Tools that are genuinely essential to how you work or live. If it were suddenly gone tomorrow, and you'd immediately pay to replace it, keep it. That's your test. Cut is for anything that fails the test. You haven't used it in 30 days. You're keeping it out of vague guilt or theoretical future use. You signed up during a free trial and never canceled. Cut it. No deliberation. The moment you have to talk yourself into why you might need it, you don't need it. Negotiate is the category most people skip, and skipping it leaves real money on the table. Here's what the data shows. When you call to cancel a service and specifically say the price is too high, companies with active retention programs, which is most subscription services, will offer you something to stay. The typical customer service script their reps follow includes a cascade of offers: 1 or 2 months free, a reduced rate, a downgrade option, a paused billing option. Billshark, a negotiation service, reports a 90% success rate negotiating subscription and utility bills with average annual savings of $300 per customer. You don't need to hire anyone to do this. You need a script. Here it is: call or chat with customer service. Ask to cancel. When they ask why, say, "The price is too high for how much I use it, and I've found a better alternative." Then stop talking. Wait. The first offer they give you is almost never the best one. Decline it politely. Say, "I appreciate that, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cancel." Wait again. A second offer will usually follow. If you get a 50% discount for 3 months, take it if you actually want the service. That's real money. If you genuinely don't want the service, cancel and leave, but make them show you every card before you decide. You want to do this call on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday morning. Reps at the start of the week and end of the day have less flexibility to give discounts because they're hitting different performance targets. Tuesday through Thursday mid-morning, you'll talk to someone with more room to work with. Now, which subscriptions are actually worth keeping? Let me give you the honest breakdown. Streaming is where most of the bloat lives, and the honest answer is that 1 or 2 services cover the vast majority of what you actually watch. Most households end up watching 80% of their content on one platform and rotating a second service in and out seasonally. If you're paying for 4 streaming services and genuinely rotating through all 4, great. If 2 of them are on autopilot because you haven't canceled them since you finished a show 2 seasons ago, those are cuts. Productivity software. Tools you use for work. Tools that genuinely save you hours every week. These usually earn their keep. What doesn't earn its keep is the premium tier of a tool you'd use just as effectively on the free plan. Gym memberships get complicated because the psychology of keeping them is real. People do go more often when they're paying. But if you're paying $60 a month for a gym you visit twice, that's $30 a workout. A solid set of dumbbells and a YouTube channel is a one-time cost. Know which camp you actually fall into. Amazon Prime is one most people keep, and for good reason. Free 2-day shipping and Prime Video together tend to deliver value for households that order frequently online. But a household that orders twice a month and barely uses Prime Video is paying $14.99 a month, roughly $180 a year, for convenience that costs less than that if you pay shipping individually. Cloud storage is almost always worth something, but you're very likely paying for more storage than you need. Check how much you're actually using. A lot of people are on a 2 terabyte plan because they clicked the upgrade link without thinking and have used 80 gigabytes. The software subscriptions, and this is where people get blindsided, are often the most expensive and the easiest to forget. Design tools, project management apps, premium email clients, VPN services, antivirus suites, some of these are essential. Some of them you signed up for during a project 6 months ago and haven't touched since. Go through every single one. Now let's talk about what this actually means for your money. Because the number isn't abstract, it's real, and it's significant. The average American household, after doing a thorough subscription audit, can realistically cut $100 to $200 per month. Some households cut more. People who haven't audited in years regularly find $250 to $300 in monthly charges they don't miss after cutting them. Let's be conservative and call it $150 a month. $150 redirected, not spent differently, actually invested at 7% annual return, which is a reasonable long-term average for a broadly diversified index fund, builds to roughly $26,000 over 10 years. You put in $18,000 of your own money, and the market does the rest. At $200 a month, the higher end of what most audits recover, you're looking at approximately $34,700 after 10 years. On $24,000 in contributions, that's more than $10,000 in compound growth on money that was previously buying you subscriptions to apps you forgot you downloaded. At $300 a month, which is not unusual for households that haven't audited in several years, the 10-year number crosses $52,000. That's not a small number. That's a down payment. That's a year of college tuition. That's a car paid in cash. That's a year of runway if you wanted to take a risk and start something. All of it sitting inside charges that hit your account automatically every month without you ever consciously deciding to spend it. This is the subscription economy's greatest trick, making you a passive participant in your own financial drain. The charges aren't painful enough to notice individually, they're just there. And the industry counted on exactly that. One more piece of this you should know: the annual versus monthly pricing trap. Most subscription services offer an annual plan that's priced lower per month than the monthly plan, and that's often a good deal if you actually use the service consistently. But if you're the kind of person who uses a service intensely for 2 or 3 months and then steps away, the monthly plan is cheaper. Paying $10 a month for 3 months is $30, paying $80 for the year because it works out to less, and then barely touching it for 9 months is $80. Do the math on what your actual usage pattern looks like before you commit to annual billing. And speaking of billing, once you've done the purge, do yourself one favor. Put a recurring calendar event every 6 months that says subscription audit. 20 minutes, twice a year. Pull the statements, check what's still active, check what you're still using. New subscriptions sneak in constantly. A free trial here, a new service there, an app upgrade that quietly converted to a paid plan. The audit isn't a one-time event, it's a habit. The people who build real wealth aren't usually the ones making dramatically more money than everyone else. They're the ones who stopped losing it quietly. They closed the drains, they redirected what was already flowing through their accounts towards something that builds instead of something that disappears. A subscription purge isn't a sacrifice. You won't miss most of what you cut. What you will notice is what happens 6 months later when you check your investment account and see that number climbing, built from money you were never really spending anyway on things you were never really using. So drop a number in the comments. How much did your audit turn up? Or how much do you think you're spending right now? Be honest, I genuinely want to know. If this hit different for you today, hit the like button. Share it with someone who needs to run their own audit this weekend. Because most people won't do it alone, but they will do it if a friend sends them a video. And make sure you're subscribed, because next week we're getting into the actual mechanics of building a portfolio with the money you just freed up, which investments, which accounts, and in what order to fill them. That one's going to be worth staying for.